What an abject cataclysm of controversy this Ezra Miller situation is starting to balloon up into. And realistically, it couldn't get any worse for all people involved unless it just descends into some kind of a Jonestown situation, which, given this creep and his history, I don't necessarily think that's too far off the menu, unfortunately. But honestly, why did all of this stuff have to happen and drop this month? Not only does it hurt the upcoming solo Flash film, which is probably going to just end up being shelved and put into the deepest, darkest corner of Warner Brothers warehouse and never to be seen by the light of day again, because what the fuck do you do with it at this point? But honestly, man, thinking about it, as of right now, he is the most prominent, or at least he's... I keep misgendering him, and I feel so bad about that. Ugh. Like I'm not giving my flowers to a pedophile. Imagine that. No, still, he's the most highest profile spectrum superhero that's out there right now. I can't think of anybody who, at least ones that immediately come to mind, that have the same level of clout as Flash. And I'm sure all of the Pride posters that were coming out from DC and Warner Brothers probably had Ezra front and center, but can't really be running those when he has a second restraining order, or I guess order of protection, that was filed against him. This time against a 12-year-old. Oh, God, because I want to take a look at some of the clear up some more of the Tokata Iron Eyes. Those allegations as well, because apparently, not only was he aggressive and acting in a certain way against the girl, also against her family, and there's photographic evidence of this stuff. So it's really no more of a he said, she said, maybe we're just trying to get some clout off the back of this, to Ezra Miller's a certifiable creep. But let's get to the new allegations right here, okay? On Wednesday, a mother and her 12-year-old child traveled to their local courthouse in Greenfield, Massachusetts, and were granted a temporary harassment protection order against Ezra Miller. Oh, funny thing about that, can't really track down this creep right now because he has gone absolutely radio silent after posting a weird Instagram story, right? Four frames, I guess, just posting these odd pictures about how nobody's ever going to find him. Haha, hee hee, whatever. You cannot touch me. I am in another universe. Well, I wish you were alone when you were doing that. Headache. Oh, a nice... A very strange... Is that Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? I've never seen that meme before, but I think it's probably a San Andreas meme. Okay, people just give headaches. Right, okay, that's why you hang out with children, because they're normally known for their even-temperedness. All right, then. Try to read this. This is just ridiculous. I am shielded from negative people. Oh, this sounds like a cult leader, okay? And their ill intent. My spirit, mind, body, soul, and success are not altered by anyone's envy. I am protected from all negative energy. Okay, people attempt to whatever at me. Okay, I don't know. Subconsciously and consciously, I clear any and all, I don't know what that is, peers who are hidden enemies. Feels like it should come with an unbreaded after that, if you know what I mean. Yes, and last but not least, me remembering how he uses just the worst fucking memes imaginable. Me remembering how I was nice when I should have said, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? As we're also going to see in some of the pictures that are here as well, he has a very, very, very overinflated ego about himself. But I think that was fairly obvious given his... I don't understand the wonky hand gestures. Okay, maybe it's because I can't really do that without assistance. Okay, maybe it's because I have man-sized hands and I'm spraying just about all of my fingers, either weightlifting or playing sports, and I guess those are probably just appropriate cock-grabbing sized fingers. I don't really know, don't really care. But let's, unfortunately, get into this. But yeah, no, okay, recapping the first paragraph there, he was touching up on a 12-year-old. Great, wonderful, fantastic. The news comes on the heels of a number of other disturbing allegations that have surfaced against a 29-year-old. And this isn't even like Romeo and Juliet territory where he's, okay, this is a little bit questionable, acceptable because she's 17, he's 19, they were dating in high school. Okay, the birth dates don't quite match up. No, he's 29 and he's touching up on 12 and at the time 14, but now 18-year-olds. There's a little bit less contention there until you start to delve back into some of the history that's there, which we will, but there's no excuse for a 12-year-old unless these allegations are just piggybacking off the other ones. Because I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I also, you need to give deference without any proof, okay? Could this all just be an orchestrated smear campaign? Of course it could be. Is it though? I don't think in this instance, but we'll just have to see. The parents also accused Miller of influencing Tokata's decisions. We'll get to that. Okay, I just want to get to the Massachusetts stuff, and yeah, we'll get back to Tokata's allegations. Okay, creator Mia Solange, I don't know who that is, took to TikTok. Oh, TikTok creator. Okay, they're intermittently famous. They could have like millions of followers overnight, but then just drop off the next day. TikTok's a weird fucking place. In April, to accuse Miller of being a hashtag abuser. You know it's serious when you put it in a hashtag. While the actor was arrested twice in Hawaii for disorderly conduct, harassment, and allegedly throwing a chair at a woman. On top of all of that, in 2020, a video went viral of Miller attacking a young female fan in Iceland. We played that when we originally went over the fact that, he was pissed off about the cops misgendering him when he was being arrested in Hawaii after he turned over a bar. Apparently, that's what we're going with here. He was arrested a couple of different times at just being a general degenerate. And yeah, we played that Iceland video, and it seems like it's taken out of a grander context, but there hasn't really been any clarification. None that I've seen, and I've tried to be the most charitable, okay? Because again, we don't have anything finalized, anything formalized outside of ex parte restraining orders, which is, as we've seen with Johnny Depp, okay, this is one side of the situation. But when there starts to be proof and more correlative stories that are out there, it gets a little bit less shaky when it comes to the authenticity of the ones that have gone radio silent. Okay, deleting their Instagram. I don't know if he was on Twitter before, but yeah, getting rid of all the social media and just going completely dark. Can't actually be served any of these restraining orders because nobody knows where the fuck he is. And he's apparently with Tokata right now and several other women. It's a fucking weird situation, and at least you hope they're women, okay, 18 years of age or older. But given his propensities as detailed here, it could be a little bit different. In the Massachusetts case, the Daily Beast reviewed a copy of the protection order signed by a judge and spoke with the 12-year-old accuser, their mother, and another neighbor who was present. Okay, so there's a lot of correlation here. There's enough people there to at least lend some credibility to this. Ugh, God, this is gonna suck. The case docket has not been posted on the court's online system. I'd imagine probably because it's an underage accuser. Okay, have to wait for redactions before it gets published. That would make sense. Okay, so the official complaint made by the child's mother was not available. Okay, now the Daily Beast also reviewed contemporaneous text messages sent by the mother and the neighbor, as well as photographs that corroborated parts of the accounts of the night in question. We're withholding names for privacy reasons. Yeah, don't really care about the names or anything like that. Okay, all we need is just the evidence. On the evening of February 2nd, a trio contend that Miller was present at the downstairs neighbor's home in Greenfield, which is located about 40 miles from the actor's ranch in Stamford, Vermont. Okay, we've heard about that ranch before. That's where he would take Tokata very regularly. Okay, that neighbor is in a band with Whitney Sutters, a musician who was a close friend with Miller. Oh, okay, so he has a very extensive grooming network, it seems. Miller was wearing a bulletproof vest. Okay, nothing necessarily wrong with that, but we also know that this dude is very paranoid for pretty good reasons, I guess, because, hey, given his proclivities with younger children, there's a few sayings that are out there that would lead one to believe that you better be packing appropriately if you're going to be engaging in these activities, because there's some itchy trigger fingers out there. Just saying. I have no idea. I had no idea until later that they were armed. This is going to be a recurring theme, okay, because we got some more pictures and stuff to go over as well. Tensions began brewing when the mother says she mentioned doing some traveling recently with her tribe of people, leading Miller to snap at her and accuse her of cultural appropriation. How fucking rich. Then, a conversation about board games allegedly went sideways when Miller claimed that the board game Parcheesi had Rastafarian roots. Sorry, what? Visiting neighbor, who is a half black is capitalized. God, I hate the Daily Beast. Anyways, questioned Miller as to which sect of the Rastafarian movement it originated from. I don't know, but you're all being racisms. At this point, Ezra explodes and started screaming directly into my face. This seems to check out as well, because again, from that choking video in the alley behind the bar, it seemed like it went from 0 to 60 very, very quickly. They said, "You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. What did you say to me? What did you just say to me?" Again, very, very high profile and very, very self-absorbed opinion of himself there, put on full display. Then they opened up their jacket. Again, they're talking about he's using non-binary pronouns because, you know, we need to respect pedophile. So yeah, if it's a little bit difficult to follow along with, that's what's there. All right. Opened up their jacket. They had like this, like a big Sherpa jacket, and they opened up one side of their jacket, and you could see a gun. And they said, talking like that could get you into a really serious situation. Just asking, you're making these wild claims about Parcheesi being racist, asking for clarification, because that just seems like a neat anecdote, but not realizing that you're talking to somebody who is fucking nuts. Next, according to the visiting neighbor, the mother and the child, Miller focused their attention on then 11-year-old. Okay, how does it go from somebody brandishing their firearm, okay, or showing you that they're strapped up, okay, after yelling in your face for a seemingly banal statement, get anywhere near your child, okay? You'd be on the phone, okay, with the cops to get this fucking creep out of here as soon as humanly possible. But let's see what he's saying here. Okay, turn the attention to the 11-year-old saying, "I've talked extensively with your child and I have a lot of power out to them." Oh, okay. Well, you better hope the rest of your crew is packing, because I'd be going into another room and, let's just say one thing might lead to another. At one point, you're going to realize that you don't have any control over them anymore. They're an elevated being, and they would be lucky to have somebody like me guide them. Absolutely not, you fucking cult leader. Okay? That's exactly what this sounds like. Okay? Like, there's no aspersions cast here that this is anything less than what he's trying to set up here. Okay? As opposed to, like, what Nexium cults, that sex cult, those were all consenting adults who just had later in life regret. But there's a bigger story there, and I got to take a look into that at some point or another. And then, of course, yes, the famous death cults of the 70s and all that other fucking fun shit. Made reference to Jonestown, obviously. If you want more clarification on that, extensive documentaries and all the literature is out there. Or you could just ask Nancy Pelosi for clarification. She was integral to setting up Jim Jones to power. Anyways, they said Miller proceeded to turn to the mother, who dresses goth. Oh, God, why? He preys on the mentally weak. This is what we're seeing here, okay? Activist folks and people that have a lot of other underlying problems, okay? Because, again, if you're of a certain age, you get out of your goth phase, okay? And accused her of being a witch and a vampire, repeatedly yelling at her, "Do you want to drink my blood? Do you?" No, I think it's dangerous to drink certain people's blood. Well, actually, just about everybody's blood, and especially if you have a certain transmittable disease. Miller then came back to the child and allegedly began pestering them with compliments. Again, get this fucking creep out of the house. Out of the house. Your kid's 11. Oh, God. And allegedly began pestering them with compliments, and one point moving their chair close to them, uncomfortably hugging them and touching their hips. Requesting that they add the actor on Instagram, and telling the child to express their interest in horses. Great. That they would acquire several horses, and the child could help them care for the herd on their Vermont farm. Again, all of these lack of definitive sex-based pronouns makes us very hard to follow, okay, because you have two non-binary people, which, again, given this entire situation, just kind of connects a couple of dots of mental illness for everybody that's out there. But again, this is just a groomer out on the prowl, okay? Just peel it back a little bit, 35,000 foot view on this one. And these are the type of behaviors that are supposed to be normalized according to a certain political party's take on what society should become. We should be open to all these ideas. Cool. Expose your kids to the likes of Ezra Millers that are out there. That seems like a fucking grand idea. The mother and visiting neighbor both believe that Miller may have been under the influence due to the dilated pupils and erratic behavior. The fact that you could note all of this stuff as it's going on, you should have been kicked out. Should have been just gone, okay? Never should have got to the point where you could properly assess a situation like this. After Miller started making moves on your kid, that should have been gone. Bye. See it. Don't care. Miller apologized for the outburst. Oh, that's nice. Before returning to the home on June 4th, dressed as a cowboy. Without incident ever since, the Tokata Iron Eyes news broke. However, they haven't seen or heard from them since. What are you, the cops? A representative from Miller could not be immediately reached for comment. So yeah, that is that story. Pretty fucking creepy, huh? But then we got pictures, and like we seen before, the guy likes to walk around strapped. Okay, and apparently, this is a very, very, very long article. We're not going to run it through or anything like that, but this is June 11th, and this is in correlation specifically with the Tokata Iron Eyes incident. Okay, I think this is the father, okay, of Tokata right there. And based on some of the testimony that's in here, okay, like I said, we're not going to read all of it, just some of it, and I'll link to this one as well as the archive of the Daily Beast link, because they got that shit behind a paywall, but fucking archive exists, bitch. Multiple witness reports state that actor Ezra Miller is allegedly supplying illegal mind-altering drugs to teenagers at their Vermont farm, committing extreme acts of physical and psychological abuse, and claiming that they are the second coming of Jesus Christ in a apparent cult-like manner. Yeah, your kid needs somebody like me to guide them. They would be so lucky as to be basking in my aura. Sounds like this stuff correlates, okay? Because, yeah, no, this is a fresh... the other story, that it's fresh from today, okay? Like, published, updated June 16th, right? And this one dates back to at least the 11th, okay? So all of this stuff is really starting to line up, okay? So unless these two groups were getting their story straights behind the scenes, I don't know, man. I'm really starting to side a lot more, and not like I wasn't, okay? Like, my bias would lead me to believe that Ezra Miller's a fucking creep, okay? Based on just the allegations here and his previous acts, okay? I was already on the victim's side on this one, but yeah, no, thanks to the evidence now, I'm firmly in that camp. So yeah, this picture here, apparently, okay, Chief Bearcross, okay, kept his cool from the photo despite the fact that Ezra surprised him moments prior by unleashing a firearm. Unannounced. You can kind of see, right, from the picture here, if you guys zoom in, go to the video, and I don't know how well this plays on whatever your device you're watching this on, okay? You can see that that is not a genuine smile on that guy's face, okay? Like, it's just, a smile like Harold in the stock image pictures, okay? It's just all teeth. There's no eye engagement on that one. It's like, oh God, please don't shoot everybody in here, you fucking crazy man. There's a lot of other pictures in here as well, like, I don't know if that was happening beforehand or whatever, but he's handing out dinosaur plushies, I guess, wearing the same parka that was at least part of the other claims there as well in the other allegations from the Massachusetts family, okay, and this was on New Year's Eve, as it says here, and that kind of looks like an out... Don't quote me on that one. I could be just adding on some extra stuff here, okay? So it's a dinosaur or a dog plushie, but it kind of looks like there's a bottle in the front pocket there, so, okay, at least he's being a gracious guest and, you know, bringing gifts for everybody, but a dinosaur? That's kind of fucking weird. Isn't that kind of cultural appropriation of reptiles? Well, but speaking about Chief Bearcross, also encountered Miller's use of drugs, okay, said that, yeah, he was bringing ketamine and all that stuff, says Chief, when Ezra came into my home, it was a strong odor of marijuana. kind of looks like he's baked or something like that. Okay. It was a strong odor of marijuana. I don't like marijuana. Based. I hate marijuana even more based. I don't like the smell of it. Yeah, no, it's terrible. It's terrible. Okay. It was pretty strong. Every time Ezra walked by me, they smelled like it. Anyways, I gave Ezra a home to stay in a bedroom to lay in, my kid's bed. Why would you do that? Why would you? I guess these accusations weren't made public yet, but again, if Ezra had a litany of choices of different rooms in a house to stay in, what do you think? What are the odds that he would pick the child's room? Okay. You should also make him sleep standing up, the fucking creep. Despite Ezra's snooty attitude, Chief Bearcross says he was hospitable to the actor. And again, just playing out this god complex and doing his goofy fucking hand gesture. I don't know what it is. If anybody else does, that's, I don't know. But yeah, there you can see Tokata's in the picture as well, okay? And that guy has a look on his face like, oh my god, please help me. Get this fucking weirdo out of the house. It's cool that he's famous and all, but he fucking gives me the willies because it's just like there's nothing going on with the eyes, and then there's no engagement when it comes to a smile there. It's like, thanks for being here, and why do we got to take more pictures? This is fucking odd. It kind of looks like a hostage situation. Knowing the fact that, yeah, no, he was once again concealed carry, which is totally fine, by the way. Big Second Amendment guy here. Anyways, apparently so is Ezra, and maybe he has his license or anything like that, but wouldn't you think? Well, again, that would also kind of work out as well if he's doing these illicit behaviors or carrying out these illicit behaviors as well, that he wouldn't have armed security with him at all times. Nobody that could tear down his story, unlike with Johnny Depp, who was never seen without armed security at all times, who could back up his stories as well. But yeah, no, then Ezra just pulls out a Glock and obviously, this picture must have been taken before the first one because the chief still has his hand in his pocket. And in the first picture right there, I'll just scroll up again. Then, yeah, no, there's not a lot of change in facial expression. Then, yeah, you just like, ha ha ha, cool. Let's take a picture and stuff. This is definitely not creepy or anything like that. No. But yeah, man, just more pictures of, like, I don't know, maybe this guy photographs that way, but yeah, I don't really think so. Kind of looks like everybody was not really having a great time outside of Tokata, who might have been drugged up at the time, and then Ezra Miller, who smelled like pot and admitted to doing ketamine as well. But these are some of the pictures, okay? Because this is Tokata. She apparently has a haircut, and unfortunately for her, she has a mushroom cut. Like, those went out in the fucking mid-90s, for Christ's sakes. But she has bruises, okay? Like, grabbing bruises on her arm, okay? That's what your arm should look like if somebody's grabbing you. Amber Heard, please take note for that. But those are red and purplish marks that are on her arm, okay? And again, there's nothing directly to link Ezra Miller to those bruises, but we see that he has a propensity to like to grab onto women. But anyways, okay, after being rescued from Ezra's farm following an overdose of LSD, that's a weird drug to be overdosing on, but okay. Tokata Iron Eyes sits in the vehicle. Bruises are visible on their wrist. Again, he has specific targets that are out there, okay? And if you don't see why the grooming behavior and gender confusion talk is very, very important to root out in kids, I don't know what else to tell you at this point. The parents, obviously, you'd think at one point or another they should probably step in to intervene. But the injuries go past, okay? And again, this is an allegation, okay? There's nothing to link the two, but this is her story on this, okay? That's a legitimate bruise. That's a deep bruise. That looks like a bruise of force, okay? And she is claiming, okay, this is Tokata's mother, okay? Sarah Jumping Eagle. Again, these are the most nativist names that have ever natived. But she's saying that's the bruise that she got when Ezra was slamming a door into her arm. If it's not from that far away, okay, just trying to slam it from a couple of inches out, you'd understand, okay, because it would be a broken arm, okay, because if you're just slamming it shut like that, but if you manage to get a door open like that and you're trying to pull your daughter out or something like that, that's what I'm thinking. This is what this led up to, okay, and then slamming the door into the arm, that's the bruise that it would make, okay. And we got a close-up on that one. That seems to line up, okay? It's probably a couple days old at that point, given the blood that's to the surface and the purpling that's occurring and a little bit of the yellowing that's on the outside as well. But yeah, no, definitely. Okay, yeah, so this incident, this is where we're going to close this out. Like I said, this is a really long article, and it's very detailed and all this stuff, and I don't want to rip off this guy's work. But on May 29th, Chase and Sarah, okay, Chase is the father, Chase Iron Eyes, I do believe, and Sarah Jumping Eagle, mother and father that are there, okay, knocked on the door of the residence where Tokata was reportedly staying. A young person named Rosie answered and asked if Tokata was present. Rosie paused and looked at Ezra for an appropriate response. Sarah then began calling out for Tokata, and Ezra responded saying, "Sarah, we are not going to do this here." Tokata appeared and was happy to see their mother, giving her a hug, but immediately became confrontational when the father, over being served with the evaluation orders. After approximately 15 minutes of discussion, during which Tokata consumed cannabis. Really, you can't go without fucking drugging up, okay? For about 15 minutes, tried to hide empty alcohol containers, and ranted about the KKK. That's something else that recently, I think this year, okay, that's when that tirade went on as well, where Ezra was going to start fighting a local chapter of the Klan in North or South Carolina. The guy's fucking weird, okay? Anyways, police, pedophiles, and other conspiracies. Okay, Tokata, Ezra, and Rosie fled from the residence. Chase, Iron Eyes, called the Santa Monica police for assistance in administering the temporary guardianship and mental health substance abuse evaluations. Before the police arrived, Ezra whispered something to Tokata and Rosie and activated their sleeper cell, and they started walking quickly down the road. Sarah kept up with them. At one point, Tokata was limping due to the shoes they were wearing. What is he, fucking binding their feet? Now he's taking elements from fucking the Japanese or what? Stating that they had blisters on their feet, okay? Sarah gave Tokata her boots and they put them on, hugging their mother, shoeless. Sarah kept walking with Tokata. Ezra whispered to Tokata again, "Why isn't the father intervening on this?" Okay, this dude is weak as a motherfucker. Anyways, again, he could have been strapped, okay, but again, okay, let's just stick to this one. Ezra whispered to Tokata again. They began running away from Sarah. Tokata pulled out a knife, threatening their mother. Wow. Okay, happy to see the mom, okay, trying to get her out of the situation, but then turning. This is wild, okay. Sarah followed close behind, keeping up pace while she continued to encourage Tokata to leave the situation with Ezra. Ezra made physical contact with Sarah as Tokata and Rosie were getting into an Uber. Sarah reached inside for Tokata, attempting to talk to them, when Ezra slammed the car door on Sarah's arms several times, injuring Sarah. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Ezra advised Tokata and Rosie that Ezra would meet them there and proceeded to walk rapidly down the street as the Uber left. Sarah reported the assault by Ezra to Santa Monica police on May 29th. She has several large bruises, which we've seen as well. So, yeah, man, as it stands right now, and if we can believe that that is the situation as described, it seems to be correlated with another story as well. At least enough aspects where it seems like we have a pattern on record here. I don't know where it goes from here. And the fact that nobody can find this dude, that's unsettling, man. I hope this ends with a peaceful resolution where everybody just returns back to their families and Ezra's strung up somewhere. That would be great. But what seemed like wild allegations at the onset just kind of seem more like they're closer to reality than any of the people involved with this, except for the family members, and kind of just seem to have a grasp on their own reality. So until we have more information, this seems like a pretty dire situation. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.